everyone. Today is April 9th. It's a Thursday, I think. And I thought today I would talk about how I prep the surface when I'm working on wood. So this is my newest project that I'm going to be working on. It's for a palette for the palettes at Keuka. And so the way that I prep the wood is I start out with, grab my materials here. I start out with GAC 100, and it's by Golden is what I use, and this helps to seal the surface so that the oils from the wood don't come out into the surface. So if you've ever tried to paint on something that's raw wood, and you've painted like a light color, and then you notice years down the line that the white has turned kind of a yellowy color, it's because of the oils from the wood are coming up into the painting. So this helps to add a protectant coat so that that doesn't happen. So for this I used, I think it was 2 coats of this, and then after that's done, and I use that on all sides of it, so making sure that all the sides are sealed. These are going to be displayed outside for the most part, I believe, so that it's really important that I'm protecting the wood and protecting the painting against any weather that's going to happen. So the second step that I did was I added gesso. The gesso that I was using was from Liquitex. And for my gesso, I like to tin it down, so I'll put a little bit of acrylic paint in it, and a color in it to give it a tinted background. So for this one I used a little bit of blue, it's a cobalt blue, and then a little bit of black to make kind of a bluish gray background. So that's the steps that I've taken so far with this, and then my next step is going to be actually putting some lines and kind of plotting out how the painting is going to set on the painting itself, or on the palette itself, and then that way I can kind of look and see and make sure I know where I'm going with the painting, and that everything's placed where it needs to go. Hey everyone, today is April 10th, I think. It's Friday. This is how far I got yesterday with kind of plotting out where the different features on the painting for the palette would go. So I have that started. Hey everyone, today is Saturday. It is April 11th, and in the studio today I worked on more of my palette painting. So today I focused on blocking in the main colors. So basically what I do is I just go in and I block in some of the colors that you would see if you peel away the layers. Like in the picture, it's a waterfall, so instead of doing the water first or the light colors first, I would start behind the water and do the rocks for a base. So I did a kind of a brown blue color where the water would be, to show where the shadow and the rock would be, and then I also did kind of a brown and purple towards where the walkways are and the rock walls. So that's my starting point, and then from there my next step is to build on that and bring out some more of the dark and light layers. And after I do that, I'm going to start adding details and that type of thing. So it's a process where there's going to be a lot of layers and a lot of different work. So yeah, I'm excited to see it kind of come alive. But yeah, you can already start to see kind of where some of the shapes are from this step. So in the studio today, I worked more on my waterfall palette. I filled in some of the areas that you could still see the background color coming through. And then I also added some of the greens for the trees and some of the layers for the waterfall. So it's starting to come together, and you can kind of see it developing. It's starting to get to the stages where you can tell what it is and it really looks like something instead of just blocks of color. So this is kind of the fun stage where I start to work on all the details. Hey everyone, it's Laura. It is April 26th. I think it's still Sunday. Technically, I guess it's Monday. So here's the progress that I made last night on the palette. Basically, what I focused on is adding some of the darker and mid-tone greens into it, adding some of the darker tones on the steps, and then putting in some of the rocks that go across the creek. Hey everyone, I decided I would go ahead and do an update on my palette. So I've been working on adding layers to the waterfall today. So I did a lighter blue color and then the lightest blue, which you see there, which the interesting thing is there's this thing in art theory that's called simultaneous contrast. So when you look at the lightest color on here on the palette, because it's near darker colors, it shows up as more white. But when you actually go to the palette itself, the lightest color is actually this blue here. So that's kind of an interesting thing about how colors sit, and that's how when you're mixing them on a canvas or on a palette and then you put them on the canvas, they can kind of look different than what you thought. So that's what I started on for the waterfall, and then I have lots of details to do with the path and the trees and adding in all the rocks in the riverbed. So there's lots more to do, and so I'm going to be focusing on working on this in the this week so that I can go ahead and get it all protected and ready to go for June 1st is the deadline for this. So here's what I have going on right now, and I will talk to you guys later. Hey everyone, it's Laura. I thought I would come to you and show you a tip that I'm using while I'm painting this afternoon. So I noticed I was getting kind of distracted by how big the palette was when I was painting, so I was kind of losing focus and not really being able to do what I needed to do. So, and just for reference, this is a 6x6 panel that's the size that I'm used to painting, and as you can see, I'm working much bigger than that. So what I did on a previous painting, the only other painting that I've really done that was huge in size was a cross-cut saw blade that I did for a commission this past winter for Christmas. And so with that one, what I ended up doing was covering up parts of it so that I'm only focusing on sections at a time. And that seemed to work really well, so I decided that I would go ahead and give that a try on here. So I've been focusing on this top section here. I haven't decided if I'm going to go like top to bottom or just kind of wherever I feel inspired to work first. So you can kind of see how it's coming together like that. But that is my update for today, and a tip that maybe that would help you also if you're working on a big painting and having some focus issues. everyone, it is Laura. It is May 23rd. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's Saturday already. So I wanted to come to you and show you my finished palette. So last night I was able to finish this walkway here with the stones, and then also this back area here that has the stones in the shadow, and I'm really pleased how that came out. So I went ahead and signed it this morning, and it's done and ready to go. As far as the painting part, the next step is to add a coat of the spray varnish, which I'll be needing to do outside, so I have to kind of keep an eye out on the weather. It looked like it was supposed to rain today and tomorrow, so I'm going to kind of keep an eye out, and it'll probably be early in the week that I get to spray it, and then it will be ready to go to drop off later in the week. And so yeah, it's just about done. I'm excited to be able to have that done and start working on whatever will be coming next. And so once this is done, this is for the palettes at Keuka. The event has palettes that a whole bunch of different artists paint, and then they display them throughout a few different businesses around the Keuka Lake area. I'm not quite sure which business yet is going to be getting my palette, so once I find out that information, I'll be sure to let you know so you can go and see it in person. And then at the end of the summer, they auction it off, and I'm still trying to learn. They're trying to figure out the details as far as the auction and what that's going to look like this year. So I will definitely be keeping you up to date as far as those details there. But I wanted to go ahead and show you what I had finished, and I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and I will talk to you later. Hey everyone, it is Laura. It is Monday. I thought I would bring you out to my porch and show you my palette before I take it inside. I just noticed it was thundering, so before it pours and everything gets wet, I am going to give you a peek. So I put the clear coat on it. The particular finish that I use is supposed to be weather resistant to moisture and light and all that. I don't really want to test that out today before it's completely cured, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that inside. And then I also did the garden markers with the same finish, thinking that if it's weather resistant, hopefully they'll kind of stand up to the weather of being outside all the time. You can also see I have a whole bunch of bees that like to hang out in my porch. But yeah, so there's a peek at that. It's going to be coming inside. I have to work on, I have an art statement I need to do for it still, and then it will be ready to drop off and then go to be displayed. Hey everyone, it's Laura. It is June 25th, it's a Thursday. So today was the reception for the palettes at Keuka, where I painted the palette, and a whole bunch of different artists around this area painted palettes, and they're going to be displayed around businesses. So today we had the artist reception where we got to look at all the finished palettes together. There's probably, I didn't count them, but there's probably around 20 or so. And they're all beautiful, so I can't wait to see them out around the lake at different businesses. And I got the map for it and the where mine's going to be, so I'm going to be able to give you that information soon. I'll share a post and show you the palette with that information. But I'm here at the park at the end of the lake for Keuka Lake. I decided to stop by since it stopped raining and the sun hasn't completely gone down, so I will give you a kind of a 360 view of what I'm seeing. So I'm going to just enjoy for a couple minutes and then head back home. So talk to you guys later.